How you doing? This is Vic from One Dream Studio and DreamTV here on an exclusive interview in beautiful Emeryville, California with Austin Madison, animator at Pixar Animation Studio. I'm here alongside with Austin right here, and also we have Dominic Capone, our assistant director over at One Dream Studio. We have a couple of questions and we're going to bring you an exclusive interview with this guy. I mean, this guy's got talent coming out of the ears, out of his hair follicles. I mean, they're all over the place. Right now, we're gonna ask Austin a couple of questions and get to know him a little bit better. So, Austin, what really brought you into the animation game? What really got you into animation?
I think I just always liked to draw, and you guys are probably the same way, where like I would always draw with my dad, and we would like do a drawing game where we'd start with a blank piece of paper, and my dad would come up with a theme like, you know, let's do an alien bar, and I would do this crazy alien bartender and pass it to him, and he'd do the next character, and like together we would collaborate and create a scene. And so I always kind of, I think, liked that collaboration process of like brainstorming and seeing what another person comes up with. And then seeing films like, I think it was probably like Little Mermaid or Land Before Time was probably the first films.
That was a nice motorcycle.
Those are probably the first films that like really were awesome stories that I started like, wait, how do they do that? How do they tell a story like that? And I started remembering names like Tim Burton or Don Bluth, and just like, oh my gosh, I keep seeing these names on projects I really like, and you know, can someone do that for a job? You know, and apparently they can.
Nice.
And so, you know, and then like Star Wars and Jurassic Park, like those are the films that are definitely a little bit more sophisticated, and you know, and nowadays with like DVD commentaries, like, you know, that's like at kids' fingertips. So I'm really kind of envious of kids nowadays, where you can like totally see how things are done.
Dominic, I think you have your first question.
Yeah,
be ready for Dominic.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna be.
So as a kid, when you were growing up, you saw like all these people making movies and stuff. Who was the greatest like inspiration to do what you do now? Like, who did you want to be the most like as a kid?
George Lucas is probably the person that I would look at as like being a storyteller and telling, you know, crafting, like, if he needs visual effects, he's going to make Industrial Light and Magic, and he does whatever he wants to tell the stories he has. So like that was always an inspiration to me of like, wow, that guy went from nothing to having an empire, and that was just like, you know, that's just motivating. And you know, when you're a kid, all you have is drawings, and like, you know, if I work hard enough, I can make this into whatever I want, whether it's live action or anything like that. So he was a hero. But then just on a personal level, there's an animator that actually works at Pixar now named Bobby Podesta. And Bobby lived 2 doors down from my uncle. And so growing up, my uncle always knew there was an artist 2 doors down, and he would see that I would always be doing these dumb drawings of aliens and bars. And he's like, hey Austin, you should probably hook up with Bobby, and like maybe you can learn something from him.
Feet, scary feet, scary feet. Oh, the kid's awake. Okay, scary feet, scary feet, scary feet, scary feet, scary. Kids asleep.
The time I knew I'd drawn a comic, and I'd like stapled it together, and I was like selling them. And so I was like, maybe Bobby will buy my comic. And I was just thinking like from capitalist perspective. So I'd made a comic, and I figured I'd go over and try to sell this comic to Bobby Podesta. And so I went over there with that kind of perspective. But then and Bobby was in school at the time at Cal Arts, and he had some short films he had done that were all pencil test. And he showed these to me. And I was just, as like a 12-year-old, I'm like, man, that must have taken you like days to draw all that. He's like, that took a year of my life.
Oh, geez.
I'm like, you must be awful. You're so slow. This took me like a week. It's like, well, that's good. But then he like walked me through his sketchbook, and it was like, oh, amazing artwork. And I saw like how he would flesh out ideas and not just like settle for the first drawing. You know, he'd rework drawings over and over, and I thought that was pretty inspirational.
Wow.
And so he told me about Cal Arts, and I kind of went there and, you know, did that whole thing. And then he went to Pixar, so I'm like, I guess Pixar's the next thing to do. We're just gonna follow Bobby's footsteps to Pixar too, so we'll see what Bobby does next. I think it's helpful to have those people. There's like rock stars like George Lucas, who can disappoint you hugely, but then there's also people that are like in your everyday life, and I think it's important to have those kind of people you can ask questions and watch their growth on a personal level.
We've grown up, you know, watching your films and everything, and the one that really sticks out is Boy Meets Rex.
Yeah.
And so I see that all over the internet right now. Bunch of reviews on how great this animation is for even a high school student. Is that something that you work for to, you know, further impress people, or is it personal? Is it everything you do a new personal gain? Or
It's definitely only for the accolades. I only for the reviews, really. I mean, I really just try to make my friends laugh. That's all it comes down to is like, you know, I wish I could say I'm a storyteller and I want these characters to have life, but I'm just like, is that funny? You know, and like, okay, I'll make another drawing.
So what exactly does it take to get into a place like Pixar? Like, what do you have to do? Like,
Cojones. No, that's an awesome question. It depends on each department. Like, there's, you know, you have story, has different demands from the art department and the animation. Speaking from an animation perspective, what they really look for is like ideas. Like, what ideas do you put into your scenes? Like, I did the animation internship, and they give you letter grades for that, and I got an N for needs improvement on my animation skills. So they're basically like, you fail, but your ideas are cool. Your technical skills and how you execute the ideas could be a lot better, but technical skills are something you can always improve. It's your ideas and your creativity. That's what people look for. And like, do you make scenes personal, or are you just like, you know, all right, let's just do what I need to do, and okay, is that squash and stretch? Check. Is it funny? Check. With fart gag? 2 checks. All right, pass that on. No, it's like, you know, does this make you feel? Is it specific to the character?
So, new movie Walle coming out. Is there any exclusive sneak peeks? Kind of, you know, peeking through the cracked door of a little bit of information as to something that maybe audiences can look for in the movie?
No. Sadly, I can't divulge any information.
Oh, I thought I had you there.
It's nice that people are looking forward to it, and I don't think they'll be disappointed.
Okay.
The movie's got a lot of heart.
so how long? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
How long exactly have you guys been working on this thing?
On Walle?
Yeah.
Walle's been. It's actually. I mean, the idea came up. I think they came up with the idea in like 1995.
Oh, wow.
So like technically 13 years. There's that trailer, right?
Yeah.
But that's just something that percolates on the back of their mind, and I think it's been in production probably like 5 or 6 years.
Dang.
Oh yeah, these things start way early, and it's a different film at first. And it just goes through all these permutations, and animation is the last couple. Like the last few, maybe like the last year and a half, it gets in animation and the scenes start being made.
So what we're about to do, we're about to eat this delicious pancakes. Austin Madison got something called a Juice is Wild. I'm gonna get a full house of mushroom Swiss, and I'm about to get my grub on. Austin, we would like to thank you for being on DreamTV. Definitely, he has been fighting for his dream, and he's definitely working his way towards really. Actually, he's living his dream. So as you can see from this interview, Austin Madison is living proof that if you dream it, you can do it. And that's what we're all about at One Dream Studio. So again, thank you for being on the show.
Man.
And look out for Walle.
700 years into the future, mankind will leave our planet, leaving Earth's cleanup in the hands of one incredible machine. His name is Walle. After all these years, he's developed one little glitch. A personality. He's extremely curious. And just a little bit lonely. But all that is about to change.
Arrest that robot.
10 seconds to self-destruct. You are now free to move around the cabin.
Just a trim? You look gorgeous.